Pokémon Legends EA introduced a bunch of brand new Mega Evolutions, and while that game didn't have abilities, now with the release of Pokémon Champions, we finally get to see what some of those abilities are. Now at launch, Pokémon Champions doesn't have every single Pokémon in it, but we have a handful of brand new Mega Evolutions available so far. So while I'm definitely not a competitive person, I figured I'd go ahead and talk about all the Mega Evolution abilities that we have so far, and how I personally feel that they fit these Pokemon, especially when it comes to the theme. So first of all, we've got Mega Clefable with Magic Bounce. Definitely an ability that I feel fits it well, having magic in the name and being sort of a defensive ability. Well, definitely not straight out defensive, but one that gives you a form of protection that fits the round body of Clefable as well as the giant wings that it has. Then we got Mega Victory Bell with Innards Out, and honestly I laughed out loud when I saw this ability. I don't really think that this is a good ability for a Mega Evolution because it requires your Pokemon to faint in order to activate, but I gotta be honest, I think it is really funny, because basically just imagine you punching that giant belly on Mega Victory Bell and yeah, you knock it out, but you're gonna be getting hit with a bunch of the acid that it was storing inside. Hilarious out of 10. Speaking of hilarious, next we have Mega Starmie with Huge Power. Definitely interesting to see this Pokemon get more of an offensive ability, and that totally fits Mega Starmie, the Starman himself, allowing it to be the ultimate posing superhero that saves the day. Then we get Mega Dragonite, which actually keeps Multi-Scale, which is the hidden ability of regular Dragonite, and that is a really good ability, one that always felt more mystical, which is very appropriate for Mega Dragonite's design. Now we have Mega Meganium with a brand new ability, that being Mega Soul. This allows a Pokemon to use moves as if the sunlight was out even if it wasn't, which is a nice idea following up from Leaf Guard, which was a sun-based ability, but now this one just kind of ignores the weather and harnesses the power of the sun itself. Very fitting for this being the definitive flower Mega Evolution. Then there's a Buddy Mega Feraligatr with another brand new ability, Dragon Eyes. This is one of those abilities that changes the normal type moves into a different type, this time being Dragon, and I think that's really a cool idea with how Mega Feraligatr becomes a Dragon type and has, you know, the giant mouth closing in on everything. Though overall I feel like Sheer Force might have been a bit better, so we'll have to see how things play out. But as a giant Feraligatr fan, I think it is really cool that it has a signature ability for the moment. Next up is Mega Skarmory, which has Stalwart. An interesting idea for a move, basically just implying that it's completely locked in on its opponent at all times, and it cannot be moved. I mean, have you seen those giant feet? Then we have Mega Chimecha, which actually just keeps the Levitate ability, and I think that is an okay idea, especially because the Mega Evolution becomes a Steel type, so it eliminates one weakness, but I would have been really curious to see what other abilities were in the running. Mega Frostlass has Snow Warning, which with just how big she is and how there's actually a cloud as part of her design I think is a fun idea, really bringing in the Blizzard vibes of Frostlass and the lore that has been built up over all the years. Now we have Mega Emboar, the final of the Legends EA starters, and rather than having a brand new ability, it just gets Mold Breaker, which is a fine ability, but it feels really weird being that it was already the odd Pokemon out in this trio, not being a Johto Pokemon, not getting a different type in its Mega Evolution, and then not getting a brand new ability. You know who does have a brand new signature ability though? Mega Excadrill, with Piercing Drill, which when it uses a contact move allows it to hit a Pokemon that's even using Protect, though only dealing a fraction of a damage. That is a very thematic ability with just how big that drill is. You know, this is literally the drill that's gonna pierce the heavens and pierce your Protect, though definitely not the Generation 5 Pokemon I expected to get a signature ability here. Next up is Mega Chandelure, which keeps Infiltrator from its hidden ability, and that is definitely a good thematic ability, though I feel like they were really afraid to give it anything else because when they gave it Shadow Tag originally in Generation 5, it was just too good. So yeah, they were definitely just playing it safe. Mega Golurk though really gets to shine. Not only is he designed crazy, but it gets the Unseen Fist ability, which used to be Urshifu's signature ability, though now it belongs to this guy. And I think it is appropriate because this was really a Pokemon defined by punching before, so now that it has been awakened, its punches can do even more. Mega Chestnut actually just keeps Bulletproof from its hidden ability before, but with all that armor that definitely makes sense. Mega Delphox though gets a different ability with Levitate, and a great way to fit the new design as it flies on a broom, and even gets rid of one of the weaknesses of it being a fire type. Now finally to round out this trio, we have Mega Greninja that keeps the Protean ability. Once again a good ability and one that definitely defined Greninja, so if anything it does sort of keep it in line with regular Greninja as opposed to the Battle Bond Greninja that has basically been retconned out. Now we have the long awaited Mega Floette, which is the Mega Evolution of Eternal Flower Floette, and it gets the ability Fairy Aura. Thematically a pretty good fit as it was originally Xerneas' signature ability, but now with this being the new big fairy type of the Kalos region, I think it's appropriate. Mega Meowstic gets Trace, and it is just one ability. This was a Pokemon that used to have two different abilities based on its gender, but now that everything has been combined into Mega Meowstic, I think that works out, even sort of playing into some of the mime or Harlequin influence of this Pokemon with how it copies something else. I don't know, that's just my idea for a connection, so let me know what you think, but otherwise Trace is definitely an ability we've seen on Psychic types before. Next up is Mega Hawlucha with No Guard. A very fun ability, and no doubt you've seen that one clip going around with the double battle because Hawlucha also gets access to entrainment. So hey, that's kinda funny. But otherwise being an ability that we've seen on many other fighting Pokemon, it makes sense. And if anything, it is a really cool connection to Machamp, who also has that ability because of their history. Yet another fighting type Pokemon, we have Mega Crabominable, which keeps the Iron Fist ability. And I guess that is okay, this is definitely a Pokemon that is defined by its big meaty claws, but it would have been interesting to see it get something else to shake things up. Moving on to Mega Drampa, yet another Pokemon that just keeps the ability, this one being Berserk, and basically the same thing. Yeah, it fits very thematically, but isn't anything new. What did get a new ability though is actually Mega Scovillain, with the ability Spicy Spray, which burns the opponent when this Pokemon takes damage. That is actually really funny. I could definitely see some interesting use for this one, but I honestly do just love the concept of Mega Scovillain. Well, maybe the design is okay, but I mean just the fact that they decided to give Scovillain a Mega Evolution of all Pokemon, and then giving it a signature ability here, one that is actually very useful, being able to burn the opponent without needing a dedicated move. Yeah, this one is a win. And then we have the final one for now, being Mega Glamora with Adaptability. Interesting though, because the previous form had abilities focused more so around poison, but now that it's Mega Evolved and has embraced the flower design, I think it's really cool to give it a more powerful ability, and you know, hey, is actually something fitting for a champion. I kinda like Glamora, it's a Pokemon that I used in my playthrough team for Scarlet, but again, yeah, just really weird to have these Pokemon that were introduced in one generation and then immediately given a Mega Evolution. But specifically with Glamora, now it has a completely different way to be played, and I think that's really cool. Well, that has been it for every brand new Mega Evolution's brand new ability for the moment. We still have a while until the rest of them are added into Pokemon Champions, so let me know your predictions in the comments below and what you think about all the Pokemon we talked about today. Which one was your favorite and which brand new ability do you think is a fun addition? Pokemon Champions is kinda cool, I'll be talking about it a bit more later, probably on the second channel, but for the moment when it comes to Pokemon lore, designs, connections, history, all that stuff, and especially the characters as well, that's what we got good old main channel GatorX here for. So if that's all stuff you want to see even more of, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support, and if you're on mobile, you can hype up the video as well. Anyway, let me get back to preparing for online battles because I don't think I'm ready, dude. Thank every channel member for your continued support, including the great Gators, Piwas, Mao, Kiko, Kaiser, Noobvi, Jellyfish Sheep, ITC, Lord Jeff, Hype, Pepperton, Beak Deek Joe, Dr. Shaky, AKJess413, Ark, Laserbeak316, Alex with Shiny Hunts, Starshooter, KoiKoi13, Cemetery Hill, Cheez-It62, GatorKid509, TF, Mathaclock947, Taijirai, and Quago. If you'd like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes, 4 comments, live streams, sometimes early videos, and our members-only Discord server, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I will catch you all later.
A new wave of Mega Evolutions enter the battleground in the Pokémon trading card game Mega Evolution Ascended Heroes. Available now.